There are so many similarities between Jim Bob and Michelle's household and the traveling circus with animals. Yet the circus was canceled years ago due to maltreatment. But it took an arrest to cancel the Duggar show? Let's take a look at all the similarities between the circus and how Jim Bob and Michelle raised their family. Hey there, it's Trishy, and I'm thrilled to have you back for another round of Tea with Trishy. The circus had labor disputes due to failing to provide fair wages for its performers. Labor unions and advocacy groups were there to protect the rights and well-beings of the performers. Shiny Happy People spotlighted the unfair wages paid to the Duggar children. According to Cinema Blend, Jim Bob made $1.7 million a year from the show Counting On. Yet, Jill revealed that she was offered $10 per hour from Jim Bob only if she would agree to sign a contract to do another season. That is definitely peanuts in comparison to what Jim Bob was raking in. Some circuses face backlash for exploiting their child performers. When concerns arose over the physical and emotional well-being of the young performers, as well as the impact of intense training and long hours, much like Jim Bob and Michelle, who exploited their children and continue to have more children to keep the money rolling in as they continue to be filmed for more and more episodes. The circus animal had animal rights activists defending them. With the increased awareness and activism surrounding animal rights, which led to widespread protests and campaigns against circuses that used animals in their performances, activists' pressure, public sentiment, and changing laws contributed to the cancellation of circuses that rely on animals. Yet, the Duggar show Counting On continued until 2021, and that was only after Josh was arrested. Not when the network found out about Josh's indiscretion. Nope, not until Josh was actually finally arrested. Then the show was canceled. Where were the children's rights activists? Seems we have the department in charge of children so overworked they cannot even keep up, which is not the fault of the social worker, but the entire system that is broken and not working to protect our children. In the circus, the performers had to do exactly what the circus ringleader wanted or suffered punishment. Much like Jill pointed out in Shiny Happy People, Jill shared she had a script to follow, including a special script to downplay Josh's indiscretions at the expense of her own feelings and traumatization. Sadly, looking back at videos of the kids talking to news media when they were younger has me questioning what they said. When listening to the kids, it does seem very well scripted and says exactly what Jim Bob would want them to say. These things are all so sad that I would like us all to learn from this next example of how the circus and Jim Bob's households are similar. For this, I'm speaking to myself and anyone else who needs to hear this. If you have seen the docuseries, then you know about the blanket training. If you have not seen the series, let me briefly explain. Babies were put on a blanket. Then their favorite toy that would entice them to reach for or scoot off the blanket was placed just outside the boundaries of the blanket. Every time the baby reached for the desired object, they were harshly disciplined. This made the baby stop trying to leave the blanket and would stay on the blanket. In the circus, elephants are kept from running away by tying this metal chain to a collar around their leg and securing it with a small wooden peg in the ground. Despite the elephant's immense size and strength, these elephants remain tied down by a seemingly flimsy chain and peg. The reason for this is that when they were babies, a method similar to the blanket training was used. Baby elephants were chained with the same collar and chain around their leg. The chain and peg were strong enough to hold the small baby elephant, and when it tried to escape, the chain would pull it back, causing pain and injury. Over time, the baby elephant learned that escaping was futile and gave up trying. Now, as adult circus elephants, They remembered the pain of their past and believed they were still limited by the chain, even though they could easily break free. The elephant's belief in its limitations prevailed, regardless of the actual strength of the chain or the size of the animal. If you think about it, we are all like the circus elephant. Each of us possesses immense potential and power within. We have the ability to conquer challenges and overcome obstacles in our life. Yet, just like the elephant, we often find ourselves constrained by self-imposed limitations, much like the chains and pegs. Our minds are powerful and often impose invisible barriers that hinder us from realizing our true capabilities and achieving what we are fully capable of. For me, it was something I was told when I was younger that became my chain and wooden peg that was holding me back. So it's time, besties, to ask yourself, what's holding you back? What's your chain and wooden peg? Let's break free from our chain and wooden peg so we can unlock our true potential and pursue our aspirations. For further updates on the Duggars, be sure to subscribe to Tea with Trishy and don't forget to press the bell icon so you'll be up to date on the latest news. Let's keep sipping some tea, besties, in one of these videos. I'll see you there.